Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, who won the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts in trying to bring democracy to her country and speaking out against the Maduro regime, is expressing her gratitude and hope for a free future for her country. In a statement today, she says in part, quote, "The brave people of Venezuela took to the streets in 30 countries and 130 cities around the world to celebrate a huge step that marks the inevitability and imminence of the transition in Venezuela. The freedom of Venezuela is near, and soon we will celebrate on our land. We will shout, pray, and embrace as a family because our children will return home." CBS News correspondent Lilia Luciano is in Cucuta, Colombia, near the Venezuelan border. Lilia, what is the state of government in Venezuela now with Delcy Rodriguez having been sworn in? And also, what should we know about Machado as well as her ally, who many say widely considered to have won the country's disputed 2024 election?
Well, look, most governments around the world recognize that it was Edmundo González Urrutia who won the election. A lot of work, a lot of negotiation went into holding that election. Venezuela, the regime, had promised the United States that it would carry out a legitimate, a legal election and that it would recognize the results. What Venezuela got in return: very high-profile political prisoners, sanctions relief. And then when the time came for the election, and we were the only network crew on the ground from the United States, and we saw it with our own eyes, and we heard the observers' claims, and we saw the observers flee, the regime held on to power, decided to say that despite a 40-point margin by the opposition candidate, who was Edmundo González Urrutia, not Maria Corina, because the regime illegally banned her from running, Maduro said, no, I won. Still to this day, they have not shown the evidence. So it's very important to explain for people who are not familiar why Maria Corina Machado is such an important figure. She led and she rallied a historic voter turnout. So when the time comes, the United States captures Maduro, and now we're seeing him face justice in the United States, not for the regime's actions in Venezuela, but for drug trafficking. But once he's out of the picture, a lot of people expected that there would be that transition to democracy. The key word here is transition, and that's what I'm reading in Maria Corina Machado's message. She is, I guess, signaling and urging patience. The Trump administration, via Secretary of State Marco Rubio, told Margaret Brennan over the weekend in Face the Nation, we have to be real here. I'm paraphrasing, but basically what he means is you can't come in and take all of the regime figures out. That would result in chaos. There are armed guerrillas and militias in the country that control and oppress the population. There is the armed forces, the army, the military, who is loyal to one of those figures that is still in power. Not entirely. Many experts tell me many of them would turn on the regime if they have the opportunity to do so. But I think what we're hearing from Machado and from David Smolansky, who is the spokesperson for the opposition, for Machado and Urrutia, say is this was an important first step. It's not done. They trust that there will be a democratic transition. Most importantly right now is the figure of Delcy Rodriguez and how far she is willing to go to do what the United States is asking in terms not just of oil, but of persecuting drug traffickers. We are at the border seeing these armored vehicles because the Colombian government is telling me, look, if that happens, if they start cracking down on crime there, that crime is inevitably going to spill over into here, into Colombia. So it's a very volatile situation. We're following every step, but it seems like from the administration, it's a long game, not an immediate crackdown on the entire structure of the Venezuelan regime.
Lilia Luciano, thank you for your intrepid reporting.